Hey guys, and welcome back to Ashophie, the channel where we just do random stuff. Today we're just going to be discussing a little topic that we had on a bus the other day. What's it about, if you'd like to tell us?
Zombies, werewolves, and vampires.
Vampires, yeah.
Okay.
So we started to discuss whether vampires, werewolves, and zombies could literally
interbreed,
if you like. Like, I don't know, let's give an example. Say, what would happen if a werewolf got bitten by a zombie?
Nothing.
Nothing. She reckons nothing. Is that what you reckon? So I reckon you'd get a zombie werewolf.
If you had a werewolf and it was either in its human state or werewolf state, and it got bitten in either of those states, it couldn't change back.
Right.
So technically, if it was in its human state and it got bit by a zombie and it turned into a zombie,
It'd stay a human zombie.
it would stay a human zombie.
Okay, but what if a full moon came out? Because in theory,
No, because I think werewolves can only be a living thing, whereas zombies and vampires are dead.
Right, yeah.
A werewolf is living.
That's right. So yeah, werewolves are living creatures in human body form, if you like. So yeah, zombie virus. If we just use the generic what we all know zombies to be are that zombies are the living dead. They are dead people who rise from the ground, if you wish, and they go around, they bite people, brains and all that jazz. And if you're bitten, you turn into one. So you reckon then?
Because werewolves are living, to be a werewolf, you have to be living.
Right. Okay.
So you couldn't be a changeable.
Yeah.
Changeable werewolf.
Okay, so if you're say it's a full moon and you get bitten by a zombie and you're already a werewolf,
you'd stay a werewolf.
You'd stay a werewolf. But become a zombie.
Yeah.
A zombie werewolf.
Yeah, but you couldn't change back.
You couldn't change back. You'd always stay a werewolf.
Yeah, there's no interchanging.
Okay. See, now I don't know. I'd like the idea that you'd be able to change back but still stay a zombie, but somehow, some way, through some sort of magic, because we all know that these things don't exist.
Just flop in there.
They're not real. I like to think that if a zombie bit a werewolf in either state, human or werewolf state, that they'd still be able to change.
No, but a werewolf has to be living.
They don't have to be living.
They have to be living.
Why?
Okay.
Well, they have to be living.
But then, if you go on that, then if you died and I let a werewolf bite you, then you would eternally just keep changing every time a full moon came out.
Yeah, technically, yeah, okay. So what if a vampire? No, we'll get into vampires in a bit. A werewolf that was bitten by a zombie, who is now a zombie werewolf, mauls a human, because werewolves generally do that anyway. Would they become a zombie, or would they become a zombie werewolf, or would they just become a werewolf?
Neither, because it wouldn't happen.
Why wouldn't it happen? Apart from the fact that it's not real. just hypothetically, zombie werewolf bit someone. They lived.
I don't think
they died.
I think they die.
Either way, right? Yeah,
I don't think they change to either.
If they die,
no.
Technically, they could become a zombie.
Right. If they got bitten by a zombie werewolf, this hybrid creature,
somehow,
yeah, they would just become a zombie. They would become a zombie werewolf.
You can be scratched by a werewolf, according to folklore, if you like. You can only be scratched by a werewolf and contract werewolfism.
I think if you've got a zombie werewolf, the werewolf part of it dies off. So although you
then why would they stay a werewolf?
Because that's the state they were in when they got bitten.
But if the werewolf gene, let's say the werewolf gene dies, then surely they wouldn't be a werewolf anymore and would revert back to a human state. Okay. So what if then?
Why am I getting the 20 questions?
No, because it's just because that's what you think, and I would disagree. I would say that a werewolf would be able to change back, and I'd also say that a werewolf zombie, if bit a human, the human would also turn into a werewolf zombie. Okay, so scratch the werewolf zombie thing. Let's go for zombie vampires, because vampires are already dead.
That wouldn't work.
Why?
Because they're dead.
Okay, do zombies have heartbeats?
No. Because they're dead.
Because they're dead, right. Well, vampires don't have heartbeats. Zombies, they don't have heartbeats.
So they would just have just a massive fight, a bitch fight, and get over it.
Do you reckon they literally just fight each other out? Because obviously we know that vampires. Let's use real vampires as an example here, not those twinkly sods. Okay.
Don't mention Twilight to him.
Right. No. This is an interesting concept. This vampire who glistens in the sun is in a high school. Could you imagine? Like, there's gonna be groups of girls that sync up. Yeah, once a month. Why aren't they going mad for that?
They're vegetarian.
Oh yeah, but this is Twilight. Why are they freaking vegetarian? What vampire would turn around? Oh no, I'm just gonna stick to like peanuts.
You drink animal blood.
Animal blood. That's not vegetarian, is it?
Vegetarian vampires.
We have to
And
look after our diet.
That is where vampires and werewolves cannot coexist in Twilight.
Well, no. If you go back to like Underworld, then vampires and werewolves just don't get on. Lycans, you name it, they hate each other.
Oh, so Twilight got something right there. Can you imagine keeping a werewolf as a pet?
Having a werewolf as a pet, chain him up once a month just so you can pet him and he won't bite. Could you train a werewolf? Do you think? Leave them in the comments. I don't know. I don't think you could train a werewolf.
No, because
They're
they still
wild
have
animals. Oh yeah.
They still have their free will as it is.
But do
because
they?
They're still partially human.
But yeah, like you see in films that they recognise, so they show signs of recognition toward fellow kin, friends and family or whatever. Sometimes, but vampires, well, they don't.
Vampires are evil bastards.
They don't lose anything. They don't. They just die
and
come back as a vampire and have the thirst for blood. Well, no, because if you think about it, a vampire is technically a zombie, just with more class. They're more sophisticated. I'm going to sit down and eat my meal. But that's it. Vampires don't lose their language. They don't use their memories. They keep everything intact. Their heart just stops, and they get hungry for blood. And frigging horny, apparently, according to a lot of films and books that I read.
They use a lot of vampire erotica, don't they?
Vampire erotica.
Whenever you see like Dracula, they over-sexualise the characters. Always.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But the whole Twilight thing, let's get back to this, because vampires are dead. Therefore, do all their organs work? Yeah, because technically you're dead. Does everything stop working entirely? And you could say the same for reproductive organs, yeah.
But the thing is as well, if they're completely dead, and the argument is if you're dead your organs don't work, how does their brain work?
Yeah, this is true. Because technically their lungs still work, because they breathe oxygen. And technically... So anyway, this Twilight fella impregnates that other bird who is not a vampire.
Basically, they get married, and the condition that he gave her to turn her into a vampire is they had to be married.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting cramp.
They had to be married.
They had to be married.
They got married, and they go off to the honeymoon. She's still human. Bear in mind, she's only 18.
I remember the honeymoon part.
Yeah, she's like 18 still. He's like 107 or whatever. I don't know. But frozen.
Better.
But frozen in a 17-year-old body.
Because that's when you got turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's generally the way it works all around vampires.
Obviously, she feels sexual attraction towards him. Being human, being sexually attracted to this male. She has urges. He also has urges.
How can he get urges, right? How can he get urges, right, if he's dead and there's no blood pumping around his system? How does he make it happen? Tell us, people, in the comments below.
But he obviously has urges, but he is kind of going with the fact that he could kill her. He obviously then impregnates her, which is interesting because technically sperm are living.
So if he's dead, his sperm should be dead too.
Yeah.
How can a dead sperm impregnate a live egg? But it was similar in Blade. Blade had a similar storyline where I do believe that a human got impregnated by a vampire. Was it Blade's mum? She was a vampire at the end of it. I know that.
I think this is going to be one of those.
Because he's Blade's half vampire, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's why he needs his little serum.
I think this is one of those things that you're just going to have to accept and build. Or maybe it's just a completely sexist thing, whereby the male is still working, live and kicking, as it were, and only the females become barren. The fact that you have to accept the fact that they work, as it was, is because of the sexual nature behind a lot of the vampire stories and things like that, and how over-sexualized most of it is.
Yeah. And to be fair, I would definitely agree that vampires would use sex because sex really gets all your blood flowing and everything else. Good old adrenaline pumping and all that. And it's better than fear. Excitement, you ain't going to shut down. You're just going to get more excited. So in theory, the sexualization of vampires works in their favour because when they want to find that vein, that nice blue vein up there, they're going to start turning people on and be like, there it is, pulsating right away. Hybrid vampires, how does that work? Because so Edward was turned at 17, he stayed in that body for the rest of his 105 years life, whatever. His son, is it son, girl, daughter, right, that he had with Bella, whatever. How does she grow up? If she's a vampire, she's going to live forever anyway, we know this.
Yeah, she's an immortal child. She will hit a certain age and stop. She had like accelerated growth.
Yeah,
which is
we
why
know that. Her pregnancy lasted 2 days. And she broke her back. You see the way she broke her back? Oh, that was brutal, wasn't it?
But yeah, so she has accelerated growth. As a kid, she was accelerated again because by the time Bella woke up, her newborn was like an 18-month-old kid. As a bond with a werewolf.
A bond, like connection.
The werewolf imprints on her.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, it's still a weird discussion. But I like the idea that vampires could reproduce with themselves. I think because it's such a weird thing. Who really knows the genetics of a vampire? Are they actually even dead or are they immortal? Are they alive but immortal?
But frozen in that time.
And frozen genetically, like literally all their DNA stays the same because every 7 years we normally generate more atoms in our body, but that's a whole different subject.
But then wouldn't, if you're just frozen in that time, wouldn't you still obtain the same personality, the same persona, everything about you is the same, apart from the fact you now eat the O negative?
That's an interesting concept. I like that idea. I like that. So, yeah. Would their personality change over time? Because as people all know that I'm not going to be the same person in 10 years' time than I am today. I'll be somewhat
40.
different. I'll be 40-ish. Or would they be like, my name's what's his name? Edward. Nice to meet you. 10 years later. Hello, my name's Edward. Nice to meet you. Would he be the same all the time, or would it change?
Would it allow your mind to develop and expand? Would it allow you to learn new things? Because think of how much information you could.
Being immortal,
Yeah.
100 years of knowledge, but still having the body of a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that vampires. It depends what you go for, because vampires can, like some films, vampires can get old. Is it Queen of the Damned? Now that's a good film. That's a brilliant vampire film. But I'm pretty sure there's vampires in that are like aged. They've been vampires so long that they've actually aged. I don't know. So definitely get involved, guys. I want to know what you guys think on the whole. Can a vampire be a zombie as well? You know, can a werewolf be a vampire? No, because we know that werewolves and vampires can coexist, sort of. But even then, that's an interesting subject.
In a zombie apocalypse, would you try and run and survive? Or would you just let it happen?
Interesting. Zombie apocalypse. I'd survive. I'd run and survive, definitely. I've got a plan already made up, set up, the tools that I had to gather,
I have
the people I'd kill, because I could.
I have 0 survival skills.
0 survival skills, really?
I think
None at all. Life or death situation, you don't think something in your mind is going to kick in at all?
No.
You know, like foraging for berries and things. I think we all know how to do that, regardless. No, I do. I think instinctively, we would.
The only instinctive thing I would do is protect my kids.
Yeah, it's still instinct.
Yeah.
So you would probably kill to protect your kids. Would you not?
Yeah.
It's a safety mechanism that we're all built in.
But then, if you want to go down that route in a zombie apocalypse situation, you would be protecting all of us because your natural instinct
Alpha male,
would
of
be to
course.
kick in and protect us all.
I think we should draw to a close. Yeah, so I've said it before, I've said it again. Tell us what you think. Zombies, vampires, werewolves, all that other jazz that we've spoke about. Get involved.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here's a closing question for you.
Okay.
If you could be either one, which one would you be?
What? Zombie, werewolf, or vampire? Come on, guys, in the comments, tell us what you guys would want to be.
I'd be a vampire.
Vampire. And on that note, we will see you all very soon. Ciao, bella.